Hello and welcome to day 24 of our St. Joseph consecration. And today's title is St. Joseph, the Model of Workmen. You've probably heard the phrase that idle hands are the work of the devil. And that's absolutely the case, and the reason is because the devil absolutely hates diligent work. It's very difficult for a person to sin when they're very busy with God's work. One of my favorite scenes in the movie The Passion of the Christ is where you see Jesus who is building a table. It's a very human moment in that movie to see Jesus who's kind of, kneeling underneath the surface of the table, hammering at the legs and stuff. And then he sits down and he shows his mother what this table is. And it seems unusual because back in those days, the tables weren't that high. And he comes in with this very human moment where he and Mary are kind of just like crouching over this table, saying, "How would you eat off this table?" And Jesus says, "With very tall chairs." Just amazing to think that St. Joseph taught him how to be a carpenter, taught him how to work with his hands. And if St. Joseph could teach Jesus how to work, how to be a diligent worker, how much more can St. Joseph teach us about diligent work? The thing is that word diligence, it's a virtue as well. We've talked about the virtues a lot lately. And diligence is the virtue that is opposed to the capital sin of sloth. That diligence helps us to do what needs to be done, even if we really don't desire to do it. And the thing is, we have to find balance with work as well. It's one thing to be diligent, but we also can't be workaholics. We can't neglect the real things that are important in our life, things like our family, our friends, because what people want most from us is our time. If you think of Alexander Hamilton, a very great historical figure, and there's also the movie of the musical that's come out. And we see Alexander Hamilton who is constantly doing something, constantly working, constantly writing. In the musical, they ask him, "Why do you write like you're running out of time?" And we see that in putting so much work into everything he was doing for the country, he was neglecting a lot of things. He was neglecting his family. He was neglecting his wife and his child. And that caused problems. It's all about finding balance. That's the great thing with the virtues, is that virtues are the median between two extremes. There's diligent work, there's sloth. And we have to find where that diligence falls for us. And that's different from person to person. So maybe for reflection for us is, do you have vacation days for your job? It's important to work. But do you actually take time off to be with your family? Do you take time off to recreate yourself in the midst of your work? We have to find that balance. And St. Joseph helps us to see that. Imagine St. Joseph taking time out of his work during the day to play with Jesus. And so we think of that. We think of that playfulness. And so we ask St. Joseph today to help us to model our work and to be the model of workmen for us. St. Joseph, pray for us. Thank you and have a blessed day.